To introduce today's speaker.
Hare Krishna devotees, thank you all for coming. Gopal Champu Prabhu, welcome to Hare Krishna Temple of Austin. So with that, we'll welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna mantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome, Prabhuji. So we are moving on to the next part of our agenda, which is Bhagavad Gita class. So we have a very special speaker today, Her Grace Rasamai Lakshmi Priya Mataji. Wonderful Vaishnavi, we all know. Just for our purification, it's always good to glorify wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis with that spirit. Rasamai Mataji is well known and wonderful cook. She is part of South Indian cooking team and cooks tirelessly for the pleasure of our wonderful deities and also for Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. She also, along with Neha Mataji, puts together cultural programs for big festivals in our temple, such as Janmashtami, Gaura Purnima, Diwali, Govardhan Puja, and many, many more. She's such a cooling factor because she has to work with hundreds and hundreds of artists, performers from outside of our congregation. With so many demands, so many requests, she just very nicely works with everyone and just pulls that cultural program with Neha Mataji. So she's setting a great example and also a very good example. Mother also. You can see Yashamati is crying already, missing her. So there are many more. Whatever service you give, she never says no. She does everything from the behind. So thank you very much, Mataji, for everything you do. We're looking forward to hearing your class today. So with that, let us welcome Mataji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna mantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Devotees, can we move forward as every time? First, here two columns, Prabhus and Matajis. Move as much as you can so that whoever come later, they can join at the behind.
Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to thank Satsara Prabhu and Jai Subhadra Mataji by giving me this wonderful opportunity to talk about the Supreme Lord, even though I'm not so qualified to. And also thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your kind words. It gives encouragement to move forward. With that, I'll start today's sloka by singing Jai Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yeshodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yemuna Tira Ravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Since Janmashtami is around the corner, I choose this verse so that we all will immerse in the activities and appearances about the Supreme Lord. So today I choose 4.9 Janma Karma Chame Divyam verse. I'm not up to all this whatever I described today, but I'm trying to follow those. So this is a disclaimer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse number 9. If you have smartphones, you can pick it up. Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. Anyone want to recite? Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tattva. The Lord's appearance, the Lord's appearance is not like that of an ordinary person, right? So the ordinary person, he or she has to take birth according to the past karma or the activities. He is forced to take the birth, but Krishna is not forced. He, by his own sweet will, whenever he want to come, wherever he want to come, whatever the form he want to come, he will appear. That's why his activities are divine, divyam. So there's no cause why Krishna is coming, or he is a cause of all causes, as stated in Brahma Samhita. He is a cause of all causes, sarva karana karanam. So we may perceive that when Krishna comes as a human being, like Krishna form or Rama form or some other, we perceive it to be material, but they are not material, they are transcendental. So as I mentioned earlier, that this absolute truth we cannot perceive directly by our imperfect senses. So because we have materially contaminated, the original nature of ourself is spiritual, which is in spiritual nature. We are aham brahmasmi. But since we have disconnected from the spiritual world, so our senses got contaminated. So this senses can be purified by the process of hearing and service attitude. This is also recommended in Charitamritam. Sevonmukhe hi jihvadav swayam eva spurtadayaha. It means that the whole process depends on surrendering process and surrendering and engaging ourselves in the service of the Supreme Lord. Once we surrender, this surrendering process does not comes just like that. The surrender starts with the surrender to the Guru. Surrendering to So the whole purification starts with the surrendering. Surrendering to the Supreme Lord will not start immediately. It will start with the surrender to the Guru, the bona fide Guru. So we have to approach a Guru, serve him submissively, ask questions, inquire about the spiritual truth submissively, and then in this way, slowly we'll get the grace of the Supreme Lord, the mercy of the Supreme Lord to reach to him. And we can engage ourselves in the service. So this appearance and disappearance, it's okay. This appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Lord is compared to the sunset and the sunrise. So the sun is not always disappearing or not always disappearing, died, right? So the sun, here now it is afternoon for us, so we can see Krishna, the sun. Whereas in India now it is night, we cannot see sun. It doesn't mean that the sun is dead or sun disappeared. It is just our adjustment, so the position. So similarly, when Krishna is appearing here or moving away from here, it means that he is going into another universe where he wanted to perform his pastimes. So in this way, the Krishna is eternal. Same way, we are also eternal because the spirit soul is eternal. But only difference is we forget our nature every time we take our birth, because we are coming in a different body. But Krishna, it is a spiritual. He's not has to come into the material form. That is the difference. So we forget our past. So we are not divyam. We are just material. And once this slowly, when we engage ourselves in the service, the purification process starts, and then the love towards Krishna will be awakened. So when the conditioned soul is awakened and rendering the service starts with the tongue. When we control the tongue properly, like whatever we eat inside, all the other senses will be controlled. So with this, when that tongue is controlled, we can happily and easily chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So, and also with the same tongue, we can taste the remnants of the Supreme Lord. Slowly and gradually, we'll understand who Krishna is. So, and then we start the devotional service. So it is stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, like Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam Tat Pravitvena Nirmalam. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the controller of the senses, Hrishikesha, who is the master of all senses. When the spirit soul renders service onto the supreme soul, there are two effects. One is one will be freed from all the material designations, and the other one is the senses get purified. Once these two effects happen, like freed from material designation and senses gets purified, we will be employed in the service of the Supreme Lord. So we can see the Supreme Lord everywhere. So that is meditation. Now when we go to the yoga centers, they say, do meditation, that which is not possible. This meditation of remembering Krishna, the Krishna's form always, is very much possible. We can, wherever we go, we can see the form of Krishna. So that is why maybe in ISKCON, all ISKCONs, we decorate our deities beautifully. So initially, when a devotee comes, a non-devotee comes to the temple, he or she may see the deity as the form of wood or stone or something. Slowly and gradually, when we worship the deity in whatever the form it is, we will understand that the deity is not the wood or any material. It is Krishna himself being standing there and looking at us. So that is the benefit of eyes. Tongue will control all the senses. Eyes will give us the pleasure and help us to perceive whatever the beautiful form of Krishna we have seen. And then, so slowly we'll come to the temple to see the deities. During that process, devotees will do the kirtans. Then ears will get purified. So, and ears get purified when you come to temple. The tongue also will be engaged for eating the Krishna's food stuff and the tulsi which is offered to the Supreme Lord. So in this way, and the legs are also utilized because we are coming to temple. We are not going to any mundane place. So every other sense is spiritualized because of the deity worship. So this is one of the first step of getting purified. So it is also mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita that we have to remove all the material designation. I'm the manager, I'm a professor, I'm the head, I'm Indian, all those things. So it is mentioned here, Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasanu Dasaham. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always says this, we have to, as a devotee, we have to understand this. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. We are so far to Krishna. Not the, so it is the service attitude, and that's it, and not the material designation what we have. So in that way, if we have this attitude of servant of servant of servant of the Supreme Lord, we will, who is the maintainer of all the gopis. So he's a nectar of ocean. He's always existing with brilliance. This should be our very good identification. So maybe because of this, Prabhupada introduced that we all have to call other Prabhus. Prabhu, when you say Prabhu, that I'm your servant, I'm not your master. So in the material world, everything will be like I'm master. But in the spiritual world, the attitude should be servite attitude. So in this way, we will get purified and slowly and gradually we'll chant Hare Krishna very nicely. But once we started Hare Krishna chanting nicely, then to go to the next level, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again said this, one who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect the respect, instead they give respect. So, if they start doing that, slowly we can chant the holy name of Krishna with respectfully. Because now that process, we have to understand that the constitutional position of ourselves is the servant of Krishna too. So when we start doing doing the practice of being servant here, when we go to the spiritual world, we also do the same. We will not again get the feeling of that. I also wanted to master like Krishna. So that practice has to begin from now. So, Trunadapi Sunechena, Tarorapi Kirtane Sadaharihi. So one who thinks himself lower than the straw in the street, humble. So that also tolerant. So the trees, how much tolerant, they give a shelter to every one of us. But we take the fruits, we take the leaves, everything. At the end of the day, we'll cut that also. Till the tree will be tolerant. The same way the Vaishnava should be so much tolerant is what I should also learn this, because after reading this again and again, I feel I'm telling this, do I really have? But I don't have, so I wanted to practice this too. So because of doing all these things, who can do all these things? Only when someone understands that there's someone greater than me, the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we do that, what will happen? Tyaktva deham. Tyaktva deham is after giving this material body. What happened? Punarjanma na vidyate. There's no chance of coming to this material world. This continued repetition of birth and death can be simply finished. So when we think that whatever Krishna is doing is transcendental, it is not material. So this is also stated in the 8th chapter, 15th verse, like Mamupetya kaunteya dukkhalaya ashashvatam. So this is like another assurance that again and again Krishna is telling that this material world is a place of miseries, but this is not shashvatam, this is ashwashvatam. How can this be possible? Only thing is understanding the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the translation of this, after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this material world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. One who comes back to me, comes back to Godhead, he will never return again to this conditional life. So, evam yo vetti tatvataha. Those people, how they understand? They have to understand the truth properly under the guidance of the spiritual master. So, if we understand that nature, the pastimes and the appearances of Krishna, whatever it happens, we will perceive the things as divine. So when we understand the things, now we will come into the position of Brahman, the spiritual position. Aham Brahmasmi, I'm the Brahman. I'm not matter, I'm a spiritual soul. So when we understand ourselves as Brahman, the spirit soul, then we also understand, to come to the understanding that Krishna is Param Brahman, Tattvam Asi, the supreme soul. Whenever we realize that Krishna is the supreme Brahman, that is the time that we are coming to for the real spiritual life. When we understand Krishna is the supreme personality of the Godhead, the supreme Brahman, that is the beginning of the spiritual life. So after this Brahman realization, actual devotional service begins. So I'm the spirit soul and Krishna is the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is knows every living entity. Only the difference is we also have consciousness, but the only difference is we are getting all the necessities of life supplied by the Supreme Lord. So it means we are dependent on the Supreme Lord. We cannot do anything others without Supreme Lord's will or sanction. He is a supreme entity, chief living entity. Without, the forms of Supreme Lord are asankhya, innumerable, right? Innumerable, but the same God. One God, he is coming in innumerable forms. But we are coming into a different material body. We are not the same. Our material body is not the same. So that is the Supreme who is accepting this. Once we understand the Brahman and Param Brahman state, will be very satisfied and peaceful. It is stated here in 6th chapter. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. So once we come into this, then bhakti starts. Our bhakti, we realize our spiritual identity. As I mentioned earlier, we will not see the deity as a stone or wood. Instead, we see that Krishna himself is standing there. And to give us the darshan, and to provide us the bliss and mercy. So this mercy, we should not stop this mercy to us itself. So we have to distribute this mercy, whatever we are receiving from Krishna, it has to be distributed to everyone. That is the whole process of Krishna consciousness. So this verse is Acharyam eva haraye pujam yah shraddha yehete natad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhakta prakrit smritaha. We should learn how to do good for the people in general. That is Krishna consciousness. The best good thing which we can give is the Krishna bhakti. So every living entity have forgotten their relationship with God, right? So we should be sympathetic for that. Because of others' sympathy, we have got this good gift of Krishna bhakti. This has to be given to everyone because everyone is suffering on account of forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. So this is the service. That is the whole process of Krishna conscious movement, and this is the best welfare activity that we are going to give to the human society. Prabhupada quotes one example, like a rich man's son. The rich man's son, he did not know that his father is so rich. It's not working, Prabhu. Okay. The rich man's son, he forgets the spiritual, his identity as the son of a rich person. Instead, he'll go on to the streets and do something, eat from others or something. So we should not give that baby or son a food and stop there. We have to tell him, your father is very rich. He has kept so much property to you. Whatever he has, it is for you. You go and be with your father. Similarly, when all the people, when they're suffering with the material miseries, we should not stop by helping them on the material misery. Instead, we can bring them to the temple, raise them to the Krishna consciousness, and this is the real gift. So in this way, we are giving the qualities and the properties of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then our life also will be successful and their life also will be successful. So the Krishna's abode, the Krishna's home is unlimited. It has unlimited space. It can occupy, it can accommodate any innumerable souls. So our home is Dham because we have Krishna in our home, which is very limited. But Krishna's home is Parandham. It is unlimited space. So this material world is just 1/4 of the Krishna's creation. We have 3 times bigger than this material universe, or more than that, to accommodate all the conditioned souls. So Arjuna also says in 10th chapter, 12th verse, like this, Arjuna Vacham, Param Brahma Parandhamam, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Sashvitam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn and the greatest. In this way, we can understand the Lord's divine appearance and pastimes, and as the spiritual divyam. So after understanding the pastimes, what will happen to them? Tyaktva deham. Tyaktva deham. After leaving this material body, the real life starts from there, right? So after leaving the material body, there's a problem. What is the problem? It is the transmigration of our soul to another body. This is going on, but because we don't know, no one was taught, and at least for me, until I come into ISKCON, I don't know that after this body leaves, again we have to take birth and so many challenges we have to face. So because we do not know that, to get out of it, we have to now see what is the solution. The solution is mentioned here in this sloka, Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. So the more so we have so many issues, we have so many problems, but we will think that, okay, this is just temporary. Yes, the problem is temporary, but the solution should be permanent. That solution is Krishna conscious momentum. So we have to make a solution for the stopping the repetition of birth and death. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanugraha Darshanam. We'll see the faults. This is the nature of the material world. We see the faults, we have to become old, we have to have diseases, all these things. But real fault is when we do not see what is the solution for this ongoing problem, right? So if we want to be happy, it will not happen in the material world. Only thing it can happen only when we come to the spiritual platform by doing the spiritual activities. So in the happiness which we got through the spiritual activities is atyantikam. It is more. It is so much that we cannot understand. We cannot get through our material happiness. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita 6:21. Sukham atyantikam yat thad buddhigrahyam atindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam stitas chalati tatvatah. So in this joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realize it through the transcendental senses. So now we got the solution. We understood the problem, that is a repetition of the birth, and the solution is to understand the transcendental nature of the divine pastimes and appearances of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When will that happen? When that happens, what happens? Punarjanmana vidyati. One does not have to take the birth again, right? Generally, the ordinary living entity, after leaving the present body, they'll have to take another body, because if he is not a devotee. If he is a devotee who understands the Lord Krishna's pastimes and various appearances like Brahma, Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc., they don't have to take birth again. So one who understands this truth of appearance is already liberated. Now in this present life only, because he understands that his position and he understands the divine activities, he in this life itself is liberated and returns to the kingdom of Godhead after quitting this body. Srila Rupa Goswami says that whoever are engaged in the Krishna consciousness activities with body, mind, and activities, they are considered to be liberated in the existing present body. You know, we have read so many in the 6th chapter, like liberation is very, very difficult. So the yogis and jnanis, they have to do many, controlling the senses. They have to go to the forest, do all those yogas. But still, what happens? They will come out of birth and death. Liberation is there, but there is a risk of falling down. After doing so much controlling of the senses, so much, again, you're coming to the normal spiritual material world. What is the use, right? So we are so lucky. I mean, the devotees who come in contact with the Krishna consciousness activities, they're so lucky that they will get liberation very easily. I heard in one of the lectures that the liberation stands at the doorstep of the devotee. Liberation is very small thing for the devotee, but instead a bigger goal, going back to the spiritual world, is also easy when we do the devotional service without any fall down. So this material world, there is a difference between the name and the form, right? So we'll call a mango fruit by name. When you say mango, mango, we cannot taste it. But in the spiritual world or spiritual platform, the name and the form of the Supreme Lord is the same. When you chant Hare Krishna Mahal Mantra continuously, we can understand, we can get the taste of Krishna. We need not directly go and hold Krishna, but we'll get the taste of Krishna through chanting the holy name. So this cannot be possible for everyone, right? Because there are neophyte devotees like me who is just starting. So what we have to, for that, Krishna is very kind for everyone. For everyone's benefit, he's doing many things. What he is doing is, Lord Krishna is exhibiting his transcendental pastimes. Through his pastimes, we will perceive the things, right? So in the previous statement, we have seen that Krishna and his name and form are the same. They're not different. In the same way, the Krishna's transcendental names, forms, and past times are also the same. So whoever in the neophyte stage, they can perceive the Krishna's activities. They can, when they see that, they'll get happiness. When they see happiness, the more they hear, they'll come in contact with Krishna. So that's why Krishna is helping the devotees and non-devotees also. For the devotees, he directly shows the mercy by giving the taste. So for those who don't have the taste to the holy name, he exhibits the pastimes so that they can come to that platform. So in Krishna book, I saw this. In Mahabharata, so many pastimes, activities, the activities are mentioned. So by studying, hearing, and memorizing the transcendental activities of the Lord, one can also come to the standard of pure devotees. So Krishna, therefore, is giving a chance to both the devotees and non-devotees for the spiritualization of the ultimate goal. In the eyes of Krishna, everyone is the same, right? It is not that devotee or non-devotee. We are just the children. So no father or mother show like this girl, this son is studying well, so I am so affectionate. This son is not studying well, I'm not so, I just deny him. It's not like that. So Krishna is also the same. He gives a direct chance to everyone, like to the devotees or non-devotees, with thinking that one or the other day they'll come to me. So the only thing is the devotees directly get a chance to see him and worship him. But those who are not in that platform, by understanding the pastimes, by knowing about the activities, they will come to the same position. So for the devotees, it's very simple. Simple understanding the absolute truth attains the abode of the Supreme Lord without return to the material world. So Krishna is revealing everything in this sloka. O Arjuna, whoever understands my pastimes and appearances, they'll come to me and need not take birth again in this material world. So till now we were discussing that appearance. Why is this appearance? Is it for Krishna's benefit? No, it is for ours. Krishna is not obliged to appear. It is out of his own will. He will come to show us the pleasure, the transcendental pleasure. So in this previous slokas, Krishna explains why, when, and how he comes. Okay, we all know paritranaya, whenever there is a decline, yada yada hi dharmasya glanit bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. So he decides when dharma decreases and adharma increases. So when adharma increases, Krishna thinks, now this is the time for me to go and correct it. So to revise the situation, like Krishna comes back. So dharma should be more and adharma should be less. Whenever it is reversing, Krishna again comes back to reverse again so that dharma increases. So what is this dharma? Who is defined this dharma? Dharma is again dharma tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. What is that? The highest principle of dharma is to surrender to the Supreme Lord. That is dharma. Nothing more than that. So this dharma, so that is the whole purpose of our Krishna conscious movement and for Krishna's appearance, to increase the dharma and we go back to him. So that is why Krishna is divine. So everywhere he is saying that it is to establish dharma, to make us come to the spiritual platform, to make us live happily in the spiritual world. So all these are transcendental. Divyam, any person's birth is not so transcendental, right? It's just material. We are coming because we are bound by something. The so this surrender process, the dharma of surrendering process can be easily possible only when the legs of dharma are protected. There are 4 legs of dharma. What are they? Satyam, Dhaya, Tapas, Saucham. Satyam, truthfulness. Dhaya, mercy. Tapaha is austerity, means giving voluntary trouble to our body or inconvenience for higher purpose. And Saucham is cleanliness. So so that's why we have our 4 regulative principles, which will increase all these things like Satyam, Dhaya, Tapas, Saucham. So now that is why he appeared. Like when there is a decline in dharma, he is appearing. But why? It is mentioned in Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Cha Dushkrutam Dharma Samstapanadhaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So to protect the sadhus. Who are sadhus? The one who is engaged in Krishna consciousness activities, like Pandavas, and annihilate the demonic persons, like Kauravas, who troubles his devotees. So until now, we see up to here that Krishna is coming to establish dharma, to inhale the demons. But there is also one secret why Krishna descends. This is because he also have to have a transcendental pleasure mating with his devotees. We have come back from the spiritual world because we lost love for Krishna. But Krishna did not leave us. Still, he wanted to have love towards us. So to have transcendental pastimes, to have pleasures, and to inspire us to love Krishna, to have prema towards Krishna again. So whenever Krishna comes, his pastimes inspire us to love and love the Supreme Lord. So when we, so different activities, right? Like Krishna killing Putana. At that time, what will happen? That time we felt like, oh, even she come to kill him. He showed a transcendental mercy. So that will say, oh, if Putana only got liberated, if we do devotional service, what will be our position? So to give that kind of awareness, Krishna descends. Also that, so Damodar Leela is another example where when we endeavor properly, when we give all our efforts and just depend on Krishna, that I cannot do Krishna, it's all depends on you. When we give that, he gives, he was born by, the unbound God is born by Yashoda Mata. He's born by the love, he's born by the endeavor. So these pastimes are enchanting pastimes that will help us to awaken the love which was dormant in us. So, and also to annihilate the demons or vanquish the demons, Krishna need not come, right? So everything, the material nature, the manifestation, everything is controlled by him. He can just create one calamity. He can just give a kick that it goes, the demons will be vanquished. But that is not the only mission of his appearance. So to kill them, he appears just to pacify his devotees. See, when Devaki was being troubled by Kamsa, why? Because Krishna has born as a son to Devaki. The main goal is to pacify Devaki, then to kill Kamsa. Also, Prahlad, we saw him. He was tortured by his father in many ways. Narsimha appeared to protect Prahlada, not to kill Hiranyakashipu. He can kill by any means. So, so this is transcendental because this is Divyam, right? We cannot perceive like with the material things why Krishna has come. So just when I'm thinking of that, I just example came to my mind that when we go to India, why will we go to India? We'll go see our parents or attend some function, marriages or something. In the meanwhile, if you have something at home, some home there, some repair is there, we'll get it corrected. It is not that we went to India just to correct the mistake of our home, right? Anyhow we went, so we took the side business. So the same way, Krishna anyhow has come to have his transcendental pastimes. In the meanwhile, he'll kill the demons also. So how can we, like now we got why Krishna has come, when Krishna has come, how did Krishna come? In the Krishna book, it is very, very nicely mentioned that Krishna appeared as a wonderful child with 4 hands, holding conch shell, club, disc, and lotus flower, decorated with the mark of Srivatsava, the weaning necklace of Kaustubha stone, dressed in yellow silk, appearing dazzling like a bright blackish cloud, wearing a helmet bedecked with Vaidurya stone, valuable bracelets, and other ornaments all over his body, and beautified by the abundance of hair on the head. See, what a description. Any child born like this? No, right? Due to the extraordinary features of the child, Vasudeva thought, he was struck with wonder. He is none other than the Supreme Lord, Krishna. This child is not normal. How can a child be so decorated during the birth? Then Vasudeva and Devaki offered their prayers, and Krishna turned like a small boy, right? So how many of us have appeared with 4 hands? How many of us taken birth with jewels? We all gave birth, right? Most of us are moms. How many of our babies born with all these characters, right? So that's why Krishna's appearance is divyam, transcendental. The conditioned soul is not transcendental. So, and also, as I mentioned earlier, he can come from any place. He can come from the womb of a mother. He can come from a pillar, like Narasimha Bhagwan had seen the pillar to appear. So they can take any form, any place, anything. So that's why Krishna's form is transcendental. And also, we also see that Krishna is, when he's disappearing or appearing, to just show the transcendental pastimes. If he's going from this universe, he is going to other universe to for another transcendental pastime. So in Brahma Samhita, it is mentioned, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam, Adyam Purana Purusham Navayavanam Cha, Vedeshu Adhurlabhamatma Bhaktho, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The translation is very good. I worship Govinda, the premier Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by the unalloyed devotional service of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is beginning, and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. See, Anadim, he is existing from long time. It doesn't mean that he is old. So it is given in the next line, Navayavvanam cha. He is always youthful. Can this be happening to the material soul, material person? We are old. Day by day, our body increases old. So this is also the another reason why Krishna's pastimes, the appearance as a transcendental. So whatever the form he takes, whatever the forms he takes, he looks beautiful. All the six opulences will be there. So Varaha Avatara, who is Varaha, is Adi Sukara, right? So is the Sukara very beautiful? No, right? But Varaha is so beautiful. When he come out of that Garbhodak Sai Vishnu with anger, the sweat, water has come and sprinkled all over, right? So when the sweat of Asukara comes, is it auspicious? No. But Varaha's sweat is auspicious. It cleaned many planets. So this is transcendental. So when Krishna comes with his human form or another form, one cannot take it as a material or comment on it. Krishna, also Narasimha Bhagwan did not come like a small baby, right? He came with a fierce lion form, with all the ornaments, weapons, all this big nails, all those things. So this is also transcendental. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam 10th canto or Krishna book, there's a pastime mentioned like a snake swallowed Nanda Maharaj, right? So Krishna came and just touched the snake with a leg. So what happened at that time? That snake has become Gandharva. So when an ordinary living entity touches the snake, will the living entity exist at all? So that is also material. That's why we cannot compare human activities with God activities. So his mission is only one thing. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. We don't have to take the birth again and again. His mission is to take all the conditioned souls again back to Godhead. So it's like that. So the pastimes are so enchanting that so whenever we see any pastime or hear in the pastime, we feel like, why not be there in that pastime? Can we also be there in that pastime, right? So when Krishna is feeding the Gopa boys, he's feeding and taking them from them also. In this material world, we feel, oh no, it's not cleanly, right? So that gives the interest, enchanting pastime that we also want to be this. So that is why Krishna appears. He gives the inspiration to love the Krishna. So Prabhupada says that our human life aim should be only to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead abode. How can this be possible? Only by hearing. Hearing is in order to understand Krishna, hearing is very important. So not only that, in this material world, we'll get lot of miseries, lot of problems. by hearing the Krishna's pastimes, will get solace, peaceful. So it is both in the material and the spiritual world. Wherever he is there, he is giving us the pleasure. So that's why Krishna is transcendental. Also, constantly hearing about Krishna, right, will become fearless. So death is inevitable. Before that, death like, oh, died. But now, okay, if we are dying, we are going to Krishna if we do. So that fear has gone, fear of death. It will be there, but whatever, how much we fear before, that fear would have gone, right? So Krishna's pastimes makes us fearlessness. So when Krishna appears in this human form, generally people will think he's just normal human being. He's playing with gopis, but that will not help us to do anything. When Krishna, when he was playing with gopis, he was hardly 7 to 8 years, right? So it is Krishna's power will not reduce when he takes a human form. Whatever the form he is, his power remains the same. So even Brahma got bewildered, right? When Krishna is doing pastimes with the little kids of eating food from others. So he thought it is bewilderment. That is because of it is Maya on us, but for us, that pastime happens to teach us that we should not perceive in a wrong way. When Krishna comes in a human form, his power will not reduce, right? So he has stolen that the cows and the boys of Krishna, and he got bewildered, right? So the same way, when we think of Krishna's position as simply as a material, we will also be bewildered. Instead of studying about Krishna like in a scientific way, we have to approach in a devotional way. So the good example, which everyone, even Sukadeva Goswami, he was an impersonalist. He was never understanding or agreeing to the personal form of Krishna. But he became a very nice devotee. And he recited the entire Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. How did that happen? With this verse. Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam जिह्वासयापययादप्य साध्वीं लेभे गतिं धात्युचितं ततोऽन्यं किं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेमा. Who else is so merciful? When someone is coming to kill, right? Putana came in the form of a mother. She wanted to feed. See, a mother cannot kill a child, right? But Putana has came in such a dreadful thought. But what did Krishna did? Dhatri, he made a mother, right? So what else can help us to understand Krishna's mercy? Even Sukadeva Goswami he's a very exalted devotee soul. He understood. We are ordinary living entities. Can't we get this? So the translation is, alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he? He who granted the position of a mother to a she-demon, Putana, although she was unfaithful, and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. I like these points from the purport, so I just wanted to read out now. This is an example of extreme mercy of the Lord, even to his enemy. In his babyhood, he was administered deadly poison by Putana, a she-demon who tried to kill the wonderful baby. And because she was a demon, it was impossible for her to know that the Supreme Lord, even though playing the part of a baby, was no less than the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. His values as Supreme Lord did not diminish upon his becoming a baby to please his devotees, Yashoda. So Lord Krishna accepted the motherhood of Putana because she pretended to be an affectionate mother, allowing Krishna to suck her breast. The Lord accepts the least qualification of the living entity and awards him the highest reward, right? She is a demon. That is the least qualification that she, but again, he has given a highest award. That is the standard of Krishna's character. Therefore, who else than this Lord can be our ultimate shelter? So I like this sentence. Who but the Lord who can be our ultimate shelter? So such a merciful shelter. So, and also other divine pastime, childhood pastime, Govardhan Hill, lifting the Govardhan Hill. A 7 years boy held the Govardhan Hill in the left hand finger, this pinky finger for 7 days. Who else can do? Who can? So that is divine, right? So in this way, Krishna inspires prema and dharma. The pastimes are entertaining and also enlightening. We should not, the spiritual knowledge, we should not stop here. This knowledge should bring us the transformation. Knowledge should not be just an information. It has to give us the transformation. There are so many people who has more knowledge, more mundane knowledge, more knowledge about Krishna also, but they don't accept Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. That kind of knowledge will not be helping in any way. It is just you have some knowledge. That's it. So I just wanted to conclude by some few important points. The unborn Lord takes birth for few reasons: to release us from the birth and death life cycle, to take us to the spiritual world. His descent is for us, our ascent. He is coming down to bring us back up, right? So he descends from the spiritual world to the material world to take us from the material to the spiritual world. He comes down from spiritual world to the material world to bring, to take us from material world to the spiritual world. He descends. He's coming down for us, right? So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is coming down in the ordinary material life. We cannot come, like we will not be coming down. We'll be at our position. I'm the leader. I should be here. But the Supreme Lord, He's coming. What is this other than costless mercy, right? So Krishna provides us the protection from the miseries and inspires to take part in pastime activities. As I mentioned, this should not remain as an information, but this information should bring us the transformation of loving the Godhead. As I mentioned, knowledge about Krishna is not alone sufficient. Having knowledge will not give us anything unless we add devotion to it. So only the devotion makes us, devotion means the loving devotional service, having proper Vaishnava relations. So making that will bring us to the higher platform. Often people criticize Krishna when he comes in human form, but it is just the material contamination. This material contamination can be removed only when we hear lot about Krishna and give us this knowledge to all the other conditioned living saints. So, example, like Krishna, when he came in a human form, the Pandavas could see Krishna as a god, whereas the Kauravas, they did not see that because the senses are completely contaminated, right? So we should be in the Pandava side, not the Kaurava side. So unless someone show the devotion, love, one cannot be transferred to the spiritual world. So therefore, one should cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge. Both are important. Knowledge alone will not help us to go. With that, we should have faith and do devotional service and transfer back to the Godhead. Yaktva deham punarjanma naitimam iti sojuna. Janma karma chame divya. This has to be in our mind always. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You take questions, Madam?
I will try, Prabhu. I'll try.
Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, any questions, anyone? Or comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. It was a very nice class.
Thank you.
It's very clear that you are very studied in Prabhupada's books. So you had mentioned the point about sharing Krishna consciousness with others. And I was thinking, how much Krishna consciousness should we share with ourselves?
Yes. We have to first.
In order to, so I was, because how much should we read? How much should we do this Krishna consciousness?
So, Prabhu, I also in the process of learning the things. So, as far as possible, We have to do our 16 rounds and then study Srila Prabhupada books and discuss with the devotees in that, and also share realizations, get the information from others, and distribute the books. So all these things will help us to bring into the path of Krishna consciousness. I'm still in the path of doing it, Prabhu. Prabhuji, you want to add anything?
No, Mataji, I'm good. Any more questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So thank you for a very beautiful explanation. Like you taught us many good points, and one of the good point that you taught was like service to God, and then like it all starts with devotion to the Guru. But nowadays, like there are so many gurus, and like it has become little commercial also in some sense. So any suggestions like or any thoughts on how do we identify?
Yes,
gurus?
Prabhu. So it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita several times that we have to select a guru who is in a proper parampara, guru system. So a guru should give us the spiritual awakeness, and he should not expect anything in return. So we have different sampradayas. Sri Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is ours. So when you take about these sampradayas, a guru should be in one of the 4 sampradayas. And he should always preach what he follows. So we have to see whether he's doing this or not. Then if he is not following what he's preaching, then he's not a real guru. And we have also, first thing is, he should be from a bona fide sampradaya. He has to learn from his own guru. Evam parampara praptam. Everything comes from parampara. He cannot himself study the books and teach him. I should have a guru. My guru should have a guru, right? It should connect back to the Supreme Lord. So we have to see whether that lineage is going on or not, and whether he's preaching what he's following. And also we have to understand whether his lectures, whether his teachings is making us closer to Krishna or not. If anything is not happening, any of these mentioned is not happening, then we may not choose that guru as our guru. Hope this helps, Prabhu. Satsara Prabhu, you want to add?
I mean, the Vaishnava guru who knows the conclusion of all the Vedic scriptures. That Vedesha Sarvam Eva Vedyo, Vedanta Krit, Vedavid Eva Chaham. So for all the Vedas, Krishna to be known. If the guru knows Krishna, then it's bona fide. Of course, he has to come in the parampara, as Mataji said. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful class. So you began saying that, as we are preparing for Janmashtami, we had to start knowing the pastimes of birth and death, birth of Krishna. So could you give us few points which we can summarize every day, meditate on every day?
So one important thing is we have to understand that it is divyam. Janma karma chame divyam. It is not ordinary like our material life. So if we can understand that eternal, Krishna is we are also eternal, but ours is not eternal, like divyam. Krishna's pastimes are divyam. And mercy, the Krishna shown to his devotees. And also, as I mentioned, we have to have a sweet loving exchange between the Supreme Lord, the deity worship. So these all things will bring us to Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions? Mataji's? Kids? Okay, so we'll conclude here. Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Mataji. You brilliantly explained the 4.9, and you're setting a mood for all of us to welcome Janmashtami. So let us show our gratitude to Mataji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna mantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now the important part of the program, Arati. So today, Arati will be sung by Jishnu. He has come from India, fresh, with so much mercy. So he's going to sing, and our dear Keshav Prabhu is here. He will be a Mridanga player, and Madhav Prabhu is here. So 2 Mridanga players. Jai. And Nirmala Mataji is going to be a pujari. Prabhuji. Vishnu, sit down.
I'll get the harmonium, bro.
Jai Mataji.
Nice class, Mataji. From Bengal. Really? Yeah. We went to Mayapur. Same, yeah. Oh, I had mine in my. Really? You both came to me. I will. How was India?
Good.
It's been 8 months. Are you
I went to Puri.
I also went to Puri. This is where I got it. I got this in mine. Yeah.
Go good. He's a kid.
मीरा मैं यहाँ बैठ जाऊँ
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare
राम
Hare Rama Rama
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Radha Govinda Radhe Radha Govinda Radhe Radha Govinda Radhe Radha Govinda Radhe
Radha Govinda Radhe Radha Govinda Radhe Radha Govinda Radhe
Radha Govinda Radhe Radha Shyam Sundar 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 Radhe Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Radha Damodara Radhe Radha Damodara Radhe Radha Damodara Radhe Radha Damodara Radhe Radha Gopinath 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 Radhe Radhe Gopinath Radhe, Radha Govinda 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 Radhe. Radha Govinda Radhe, Radha Govinda Radhe, Radha Govinda Radhe, Radha Govinda Radhe. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Ready, ball.
जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की नवद्वीप धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी की संकीर्तन यज्ञ की बृहद मृदंगा बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम की समवेत भक्त वृंद की गौर प्रेमानंदी इस्कॉन सेडर पार्क की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज, all glories to assemble devotees, all glories to assemble devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahalada दायिने
प्रहलाद हलाद दायिने
हिरण्यकाशिपुरक्षः
हिरण्यकाशी पूर्वक्षः
शिलातङ्कानकालाय
शिलाटङ्कानखालाय
तो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो
नितो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
यत्तो यत्तो यामि ततो नरसिंहो
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह
बहेण सिंहो हृदयेन सिंहो
बाहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं
प्रपदे नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
तव कर कमलवरेण कामदूत नरसिंह दलिता हिरण्यकशिपुतनुभृङ्गा केशवद्वैता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे कमल वरे न कामदूत नरसिंह दलिता हिरण्यकशिपुतनुभृङ्गा केशवद्वैता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे 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 जय
जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय
जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा श्रीला प्रभुपादा
प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल टाइगर हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jai, Jai.